So this is just another setup that I like to do with my families, especially when they have little ones. Sometimes they want to be in the photos and sometimes they don't. This is also a really great way to photograph couples where there is a big height difference, so you can bring them down onto a more level playing field, I like to call it. But right here, what we've got is a 3-year-old, and you can tell that she wants to be very close to mum and dad. So I've got this new way of posing families to keep them all really comfortable and keep the little ones happy as well. So I'm using just a long seat here, and we have our light set up over here, which is natural light I'm using at the moment, but whether you're using artificial light, strobes, continuous, I would always have mum 45 degrees towards that light source. When I bring in dad, I bring him on the outside of mum, away from the light, because they're usually going to take up more space. Dad's, they're usually bigger, so I don't want him to block the light. So he's going to come in behind her on the side furthest away from that light source. And then our little ones, in a minute, what I'm going to do is position her on mum's lap, and then we're going to bring our baby in, and we're going to cradle the baby in both mum's arms and our little sister's arms as well. Dad's also here because he's going to help create that support around mum to hold on to his beautiful family. The idea of this shot is to get a really beautiful close-up intimate photo. When you're photographing families, it's really important that you get that connection, and it's really important that you create beautiful shapes in terms of composition, and that's what I'm looking for. So let's go ahead and place little Mia up on mum's lap. Are you ready? Are you ready for another photo? Alrighty. So if you bring your hand back here, I'm going to put her bottom here. Over this side, Mia. Come over here. And can I fix your headband first? Let's straighten it back up. Absolutely beautiful. And we're going to give your dress a little pull. Oh, I love it. Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. So what I've done there is positioned her on this side of mum. So we're going to bring her little legs over here towards dad, and you can put your feet on dad's knee. What do you reckon? Can you put your feet up here on daddy's knee? Can you see daddy's knee? Too busy looking at the cameras. Okay, look at all this gorgeous hair between the two of you. Lean forward for me, Mia, or I'll pull your hair out. What's under your arm? There we go. So whenever I am posing a baby on sisters or mums with long hair, I always pull the hair back first, and that way it won't irritate the baby's face. But I'm just going to bring her this way a little more, turn her body a bit more that way. There we go. Alrighty, shall we bring this down? You look like a princess. Yeah. There we go, let's pull your dress down. Like a lady. Okay, now we're going to put your sister here in your arms. You're going to hold on to her again for me. So bring your arm up underneath here for me. And then when we place her in here, you can do that. And then your arm's going to come up around here and hold on even tighter. What I've got is Dad straddled on the seat so he can get in as close as he possibly can. And with the back arm here, let's bring up your hair, Grace, so it doesn't get caught. He's now supporting under here as well. It's really important to make sure that parents are comfortable throughout the entire shoot, because if for whatever reason they get uncomfortable, their baby becomes too heavy in their arms, or if it's too warm in the room, they can become unstable. So I find this another really great way to create safety and make sure that everyone's nice and comfy. Alrighty. I'm going to come up here underneath her bum. Just lean back into my hair. Oh, there you go. Alrighty. Are you ready to cuddle your sister? Yeah? Okay, so when I position a baby on a parent or a sibling, I always want to make sure, obviously, that the sibling is comfortable and that they understand instructions. So little ones around 2, sort of 18 months old, might not understand here what exactly they have to do. So you want to be able to talk to them, communicate clearly. When I position the baby, I want to make sure that the baby's head is closest to my light source. So let's go ahead and bring her in. Lift this little arm here, just pull this arm out for me. And we'll bring this hand here up in here. Okay. There we go. And then your hand in there. Perfect.
I like his dress.
Oh, you like her dress? It's like yours. Okay, we'll wait for her to relax there. You can just relax there. Are you comfortable? Yeah. You're doing such a great job holding your sister. Oh, she's got a smile. I'm just going to pull your hair back for you there. Okay, now what I want you to do, Grace, is just to lean your head forward as much as you can there. Yep, perfect. Chin forward. And then I want you to come in as close as you possibly can. And this way we can get all of their heads touching and we get this beautiful close-up detail shot. Okay, and I'm just going to bring your hand there. Bring your thumb out for me. You just rest it on top there. Perfect. And I'm going to turn her face towards that light a little more. Okay, and this hand here, there it is. Look at you guys, that's amazing. Okay, so I'm going to get a couple of shots of you all looking down at this beautiful new baby of yours. And you want to give her a little kiss? You can give her a little kiss if you want. I'm going to shoot this at f5 because I don't have everyone on the same focal plane. And at the moment with my light source, I'm shooting at an ISO 800. I don't mind bringing up my ISO. And I'm going to focus on little Mia's face. She's in the middle ground. Okay, so I'm a full stop underexposed. Okay, bring your heads in nice and close together. That's it, beautiful. Oh. Get that exposure shot. All right, so I can bring my exposure up a bit more here. So now I'm 2/3 of a stop under. Okay, and just looking at each other for me. That's it. Where's Mummy? Can you look up at Mummy? Beautiful. Can you look at Daddy? Bring your heads together for me here. And I'm just going to bring your hair back here so we can see both of your eyes. Can I tuck it behind your ear? There we go. And then just tilt your heads together. Bring your head this way. Yep. So it doesn't look like he's about to push you off the chair. Perfect. Okay, and just looking up at me, everybody. Beautiful big smiles. Oh, perfect. I think that baby is very comfortable. What do you reckon? So what I'm going to do here is, because she's looking kind of flat there, I'm going to bring your hand up a little higher here. There we go. Just for one very quick shot. Okay. And you trying to hold on to her hand, are you? Can I put her hand here on top of yours? That's perfect. Okay, where's that beautiful smile? And I'm shooting here from a much more elevated position. That is beautiful kisses. Can you lean into Mummy? Rest your head. That's it. Beautiful. Up a bit. Gorgeous. Well done, guys. Oh my goodness, so beautiful, intimate setup, and everyone's comfortable. You know, we don't have any pressure on arms or limbs or anything like that. There's great interaction, and you know that this is going to be something they'll treasure forever. I shot this from an elevated perspective because this is where the shot is, right here. If I'd shot it from down here, I'm going to make all of this area here appear a lot larger in camera. So when I'm looking for my composition, I'm going to come higher and I'm going to come straight down and frame it just like that. So I'm really, really excited about that. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to do a beautiful formal family portrait setting. I've got a family of 4 with 2 small children, and I've got a beautiful large backdrop, which I'm going to have them come and stand, and I'm going to place Dad seated on the stool right here. I'm using natural light for this setup, and you can see I've actually got a large V-flat over here blocking some of my natural light, because what I want to do is direct the light in across the front of them and not light the background. I want to keep that really nice and dark and moody. And over here I've got a reflector, which I'm going to bring in and show you the difference in having a reflector and not having a reflector, and how to fill all of those beautiful shadows. So what I'm going to do is start with them on a 45-degree angle towards the light source over here, which is my natural light. So Dad's going to be positioned here on the stool facing the light. Now I'm going to have him sitting and bring Mum in on the outside. I'm going to bring her onto this side away from that light source so that she's not going to block the light coming in on Dad. That way I can bring one of the children here with Dad and then one on this side with Mum. I'm going to talk you through how I position them, how I create shape, and also how I get that beautiful connection between all 4 of them, because that's what it's about when we're taking family portraits. All right, so come on over, Dad. Let's get you set up. So if I can get you to sit down, but keep your bottom towards the front of the stool, that's it. So that way it'll keep this leg nice and comfy, and then bring that leg there up on the step. Now the reason I'm doing that is to create just that little bit of shape. And can I get you just to turn ever so slightly towards that light source? So I've also got them positioned, and I'm going to pose them a fair distance away from the back of that background, and that's going to create depth. If you have them positioned too close, back here, this is where you're going to find that you're going to create shadows onto that background. So you want to create a little bit of separation between them and the drop. So I look for anywhere from 1.5 meters to 2 meters, but I do have a lot of space. If you're struggling with space, then you might just kind of have to have them a little bit closer to that background and have some light come in. You don't necessarily have to block that light, but have that light come in to fill those shadows into that background. Rightio, Mum, come on in. I'm going to have you come and stand here, and then just kind of place your arm onto the back here of the shoulder. Beautiful. So what I always want to look for here is this connection. You want to get them nice and close. So that way you can kind of lean in, you can lean in towards each other, and that way you get that beautiful sort of setup. Now you can grab a shot of this, which I think is really beautiful. Great way to get some more connection if you're photographing just the 2 of them is just bring this hand up a little bit. So what I'm looking for there is to create that shape instead of that shape. When you have an arm towards the camera like that, this is called foreshortening. So it makes the arm look a lot shorter than what it actually is. So you want to pull that elbow out and have that kind of sitting there, and then you create a beautiful triangle. So sometimes it can look a little forced, but what it does is that it creates beautiful shape. By bringing that arm across, you can then have this hand come up and hold on to it, and you start to create these beautiful triangles. And then if you want, just lean in a little more towards that hand, bring your heads together. There you've got that beautiful connection. Okay, so what I'm going to do is bring in our kids now, but I just wanted to explain how you can really utilize, these different setups to get more photos for your gallery. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is bring in our first little person. Come on over. Good job. All right, so now I'm looking at colors. I don't want to bring, actually, you can come over as well because we're talking about colors. Come on over. So because we've got these beautiful color schemes here, if I have you come and stand over here, and then you come over here, come over this side. Oh, good job. So now what I've got is 2 color tones in very similar in the color palette, obviously, right next to each other. So we need to break up those colors. We don't want to create heavy blocks of color throughout the image. So switch over again. And now we've got a connection here, and then we're breaking up those 2 darker tones with the beautiful orangey tone in here. So this is how we're going to position them based on that color and tone. Alrighty, so let's start with you, young man. I'm going to get you to bring this elbow up onto Daddy. That's it, beautiful. And then Daddy can bring his arm around you. And you got a pocket there? Perfect. So we want to see that little thumb. And then you can kind of just relax and lean on Dad if you like. Is that nice and comfy? Yeah. All right, and then we're going to bring your beautiful hair out here. And if you bring your arm around, let's bring you forward just a tad. That's it. So you can kind of hold on to Mum's hand there and you can create that beautiful connection. So I don't want to have that hair hidden because it's just beautiful. Is that comfortable? Yeah? Perfect. So if you bring this elbow up and just kind of lean in there, and then that becomes that sort of bench to lean on, and you get that more sort of comfortable look in terms of the way that we're standing. And I'm just going to bring your collar up a little bit at the back. Perfect. All right, and what I want you to do is kind of just relax that just a bit. Yeah, that's it. I know it's a little awkward to hold that there. And then I'm going to get you to straighten up just a little bit. That's it. Perfect. All right, so let's start by getting an exposure shot. And what I said before about bringing in that reflector, I'm now looking here at the shadows and how I can sort of start to fill those shadows already with that reflector, because I know that my camera is not going to be able to capture all of that detail when I'm shooting a lighter tone like the t-shirt here that's closest to that light source. So when I look at my settings, I'm going to shoot this at about f4, and I'm going to try with my longest focal length. Obviously I've got the space to move back to use that focal length, but if you're in a smaller space, you might be stuck with about a 50mm sort of focal length with something like that. So I'm not going to get them to smile or anything just yet as I get that exposure. So I'm at f4.5. I've got them all on a very similar focal plane. And I'm looking at my histogram here to make sure I haven't overexposed any of those highlights. And I haven't, but they are up there. So what I'm going to do now is bring that exposure back. I am shooting this at a full stop underexposed because of that dark background. Okay, so I've got my highlights exactly where I want them. Be able to show you that. And then we can bring this reflector in and now fill these beautiful shadows over here. So where I've positioned this reflector is that I've got that light coming in here. I want to bounce the light back in to fill these shadows. So if you watch the shadows and the light there, as I bring that reflector around this way, the shadows start to change. So I wouldn't have the reflector over here. I need to make sure that it's positioned in a way that it's bouncing that light straight back into the area that needs that light, those shadows filled. So it's coming straight back in this way towards their faces. Absolutely beautiful. Now we're ready to smile for this one. What do you think? Okay, now I want you to tilt your head that way. Perfect. I'll get that hair out of your face. And then can you kind of like just sort of move your weight onto one leg and bend maybe this leg for me? That's a girl. Beautiful. And then I want you to bring your face around towards me. That's it, and bring that hand up a little higher. Gorgeous. All right. So with a more formal setup like this, I don't want to see big cheesy grins, but I do want to see something that's a little more relaxed. Just kind of bring that elbow up a bit more and lean in. Beautiful, Jen. Okay, so on the count of 3, let's see one of those beautiful smiles. Gorgeous. Yeah, and the difference in the histogram is what I'm looking at here in terms of those shadows. So shooting with natural light, I'm at f4.5 and I'm a full stop underexposed. My ISO at the moment, and just take a deep breath in, guys, and relax your shoulders as you breathe out. That's it. And looking at me, those beautiful smiles. Where's your smile? Have you lost it? Did you lose it? No, you didn't. That's it, beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, so controlling all of those highlights and shadows. You could only do that when you've got that histogram, so you guys can relax. So when you are looking for, you know, that beautiful detail in the shadows, you want to be able to control it with using your histogram on the back of your camera. You won't know how much detail you've got in those shadows if you're not looking at it and taking into consideration how much you need to fill those shadows and how you can start to control and pull back those highlights. So really, really important to understand that. But we're going to do one more setup with this family, and that's a sitting setup. So we'll move on to that right now. All right, so we're going to start getting set up for our seated formal pose. This is where I bring in different pieces of furniture, and I'm going to use the beautiful rusty coloured ottoman because it's going to go really well with the colour tones that we've got in our outfits. But what I find that work really well are just little boxes, wooden timber boxes or steps if you've got apple boxes, anything like that. Small stools, because it's going to make your clients a little more comfortable, because you don't want everyone on the ground. You want to create a little bit of difference in height to create that beautiful shape. So what we'll do is we'll start by bringing Dad in and getting him seated on our ottoman. I've got that out again further away from the back of the backdrop, and I'm going to have them seated on a 45-degree angle towards that light source, still using natural light, and then I'm just going to pose them looking for those different blocks of color tones to kind of separate the similar tones and to create that connection. So if we start with you, come on in, Dad. I'm going to get you to sit here on the edge of this stool and kind of just separate your legs nice and comfortably, and then that way your upper body is going to be turned back towards that natural light. It's always a good idea to make sure that you explain what it is that you want your parents to do and show them by doing it yourself, because otherwise you're going to be talking a lot and they're not going to fully understand. Are you comfortable? You can probably move forward just a little bit more if you like, just so you've got a bit more space there underneath your bottom. Okay, then we're going to bring Mum in, and this is how I like to stack. I like to start from the middle and work my way out. Just bring that leg forward if you like to be a bit more comfortable. Now what I want you to do, and I'll show you, is come in to the middle of the leg area there and just sit with your legs out to the side. And then you can place your elbow up here on the thigh. Perfect. And you can see, if you turn your face towards that way, you can see that beautiful light coming across their faces, and it's nice and even. Because if you look straight ahead that way, now what we've got is split lighting. So if you have you turn towards that light's going to spread further across the face, which is exactly what we want. Now you can bring that foot in a little closer if you like there. Perfect. Yeah, is that all right? Perfect. Okay, kids I always bring in last because they get impatient and they don't sit still for long periods of time. I have 3 of my own, so I know, and it just makes it easier to get this all set up. Plus they like to watch Mum and Dad, and they get a little bit more involved in that process as well. All right, little man, come on in. Okay, all right, now wriggle your butt back as much as you can. Actually, let's come this way towards Dad. Perfect. And now can you bring this foot up for me? There you go. And then you can rest this arm up here. And then that way, Dad can put his hand down here and you can lean into that shoulder and that hand. That's going to help him be a little bit more supported and make him more comfortable too. So you can bring this hand here, maybe not on Mum's shoulder, but we'll have that sort of sitting just there in the middle. And then you've got this beautiful kind of triangle that we're trying to create. Come on over, little madam. Now, if I can get you to bring your feet forward, we want to create now a little bit of height here. Have a seat. So you can bring that foot forward where you're comfortable. Yeah, wherever you're comfy. So we won't have them seated like this for too long because we know that it won't be that comfy. Okay, do you want to take your shoes off real quick? There we go. Good girl. That zip is tight. There we go. Oh, perfect. Bring your feet together. You've done this before. And now what I want you to do is bring this arm up onto Mum's shoulder, and I want you to lean in here. Bring that arm back just a bit. There we go. Perfect. Okay, now if I can get you to bring your hand up around just the back here, and if you lean in a little more towards Mum, now you've got that beautiful shape and you've created some height with the beautiful box there. So if you bring your elbow back in here, you can bring that hand over on top of Mum there, hold on. Perfect. And then just let that hand kind of sit nice and relaxed there for me. All right, so this is where I'd be looking at a more horizontal crop. And what I'm gonna have to do, because I've just spotted something, can you bring your bottom forward just a bit more? And bring your feet forward just a bit, Reggie. There we go. Bring her into that light and lean forward, because what was happening was we were moved back a bit. We were in behind Mum, so we were getting less light on her face. So we've got to bring her in and forward towards that light, which is what we want. Gorgeous. Alrighty, bring that hand up onto your knee for me. That's a boy. Is your eye itchy? Oh, your eyebrow is itchy. All right, so come in nice and close together, guys. Beautiful. Okay, lean in a little closer to Mum, that's it. Okay, so I'm going to focus on Mum because she is in the middle of this image. I'm going to get a tighter crop, and then I'm going to get the entire crop around them with some space. Okay, so lean in a little more for me. That's it. Where's that beautiful smile? Can you bring your face, turn it this way just a bit, and looking up at me? You can lean on your hand if you like. Just bring your hand back. Perfect. All right. So I'm going to get a shot and then oi, up here. Look at me. This one. That's a boy. And now what we'll do is we'll bring in that reflector to fill those shadows. Sorry, guys. So the closer you have that reflector, the more you're going to fill the shadows. The further away, the softer that fill will be. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, looking up at me again. Beautiful. So I'm still a full stop underexposed at 4.5. And looking at that histogram, making sure I've got lots of detail in those shadows. And now I'm going to zoom out just a bit, moving back. Okay, where's those beautiful smiles? Can you bring your face forward just a bit for me? That's a girl. That's it. Perfect. Oh, I love it. And all those colors are just amazing. So that there is a really quick, simple setup. You can get them to look at each other. You can get them to interact. You can start with, positioning hands. But again, what we want to create is a beautiful triangle. We want to create connection. Family photos that are more formal, set up like this, they do take a little bit more to set up and create, but they are absolutely beautiful. And you know that they're going to be timeless as well. So that's why I like to get those beautiful, soft, beautiful smiles looking directly at the camera.